Welcome back, Lows and Let's, to Sugar Slam Sideshow, exclusively on, of course, the Insane Clown Posse app. Who am I sitting here with right now? Well, you know him. We know him. It's Cool 187. How you doing?
You know I'm hanging in there, maxing, relaxing, trying to get to the finish line. You know how I do it, you know.
Question number 1. Describe your relationship with the godfather himself of gangsta rap, Eazy-E.
Well, you know, one Eazy-E discovered me, he's discovered my group Above the Law, me along with KMG, rest in peace, and DJ Chaos. My relationship with him, you know, was ongoing until he passed. I was a house producer at Ruthless Records, you know, after Dr. Dre left, so I was kind of basically his right-hand man at that point. As a person to me, I mean, he was my mentor, you know, he was my big homie, and just definitely impacted my career, you know, and brought me up to where I'm at today, Code 187, the Psychopathic Assassin. So, you know, meant a lot to me, you know, just as an artist. On one note, you know, I think the brilliance of Eazy-E, Eazy-E was always able to see in somebody else what they don't see in themselves. You know, in the early time, in the era of hip-hop that we came up in, it was like, you know, gangster rap wasn't the thing. Like nowadays, people say, oh, you do hardcore rap or whatever type of real reality rap, or they label it as gangster rap. He kind of took the risk to put his own money up and create a whole genre of music that nobody really, they could have supported it, or they didn't have to support it, you know. So with that, I have to put my hat off to Eazy, you know, cock my lokes, you know what I'm saying, and do it official, because like he's one of my greatest inspirations in the game. But for putting the sound of music into the industry that nobody else would have backed. I mean, it wasn't a time where like gangster rap was the thing to do. It was nothing. Cats were rapping, you know, hip hop was here, but he kind of brought that whole gangster rap thing to the fold in a way that people gravitated to it all over the planet, you know. So
that's real, and it's a real pleasure that you can sit here with us and, you know, talk about him like that. And just to piggyback off that, I did see his son Lil E at the gathering. Any thoughts on that? That was a great show.
Oh yeah, you know, we had a blast. You know, it was wild out. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like a reunion. Warren was there, Glasses, you know, and seeing Eazy doing, you know, Lil Eazy, Lil Eric Jr. following in his father's footsteps is definitely. I'm honored, you know, to see that, and I wish him the best, and I support his career as well as I supported his father. You know, he called me Uncle Hutch, but you know, hey, who don't?
Oh, Uncle Hutch in the house. Of course he does. That's awesome. You ready for number 2? All right. All in all, what would you say Cold 187 contributed to the G-Funk movement?
Well, actually, you know, the whole G-Funk movement, I mean, I inspired a lot of cats. Like, for instance, like when NWA was first breaking records, our biggest thing as Above the Law was to be different than NWA. Being in the same clique and then doing reality rap, or labeled as the media called it gangster rap, we tried to be different than NWA, and that's how we invented G-Funk. Instead of our records being hard edge and straight to your face and hip-hop sounding, we decided to do the same thing with gangster lyrics, but smooth it out, do some singing, put some melody to it, make it real saucy and funky, and then still have the same content as the NWA had, but just more of a funkier approach, you know. So in turn we influenced Dr. Dre to do the Chronic, and you know, so on and so on. Warren G to do G-Funk, you know, the Nate Dogs. We were instrumental in putting, you know, Snoop and Nate and Warren G in the game, because actually we were developing him as Above the Law at Ruthless when we were deciding to do a label within Ruthless. So when the cliques broke in half, Warren, Nate, and Snoop went to Death Row. We stayed at Ruthless. So I would say, you know, our sound alone instrumentally, you know, impacted, you know, the game as it is today. When people hear funky music and hip hop, I'm the architect of that. My group is the voice that put that into play, you know. And I really, you know, I'm really honored to say that I was a part of something that really changed hip hop. You know, I put the funky shit in the game, so there you have it. You know, I am the sole architect of it, but I think music is influence, you know, so I didn't have a problem with Snoop going on, or Warren going on, and Nate going on, and actually, you know, doing G-Funk, you know, because that's why we done it. We done it to be different and put a new flavor in the game.
All right. Well, you just blew my wig back. All right, we got another question. All right, is this true? Okay, you ready for this? Rumors around Psychopathic are there is a fully recorded Above the Law album, Unreleased, which includes the late KMG. What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, actually, it's about, we recorded about 30 songs. Actually called Victims of Global Politics. Excuse me. And me and KMG did a record. Actually, we was in the middle of doing a record when he took ill. And, suddenly passed away because it was real quick. It was the weekend of when we were going to pick all the songs out to actually, put on the album. We've done like 30 joints. So, Victims of Global Politics, we hoping to put it out the middle of next year, maybe close to the summer of next year, hopefully, just for his family and for us. We haven't done a record in a lot of years. I was incarcerated for a bit, so that took me out of the fold. And then with him passing, took his, so it's going to be really great to see me and him do a record together. We've been working on, I think we worked on the record, it's been probably about 3 years now. It took us about 3 years to do it. We got a lot of music. I mean, I probably have enough records on Above the Law that I could probably do 2 albums.
So you started working on it 3 years ago, or did it take you 3 years to complete, or you just been working on it nonstop, trying to get as many songs in as you could?
Yeah, like off and on, dealing with our families, we all got kids and, family and stuff like that, and taking off and then doing shows and that type of thing. It takes a period of time to do it, and then we never pressurize ourselves when we make records, so we kind of let it come to us. Because for a minute we hadn't worked together with, because me and DJ Cass was incarcerated, and we got home. Me and him, both when we all got home together, we started working on the album. And then it's kind of had to readjust to, being out and, get my thing together. So that's why it took a lot of time. So, I mean, with that, it takes an artist a long time, and we never forced ideas. And the album is a political record from the point of view of that whatever's going on in your world. Like, say for instance, you have politics with whatever you go on with your family member, then you look at politics a certain way. We're all affected by it. We're all victims of that, all these political things that may go on. So we took our time inking it. We had a lot of fun, So sometimes records take that long with people and when you get older, like when we were young, funny thing about when we were young, we worked all the time. So it was easy for us to do a record. And then as we start having kids and want to do our own thing, you might work a month here, 2 months here, 3 months here. You look up, a year is gone. So it didn't really it wasn't like we worked on it 3 years straight. Just time progressed like that.
Okay, and name that title for us one more time.
Victims of Global Politics.
All right, rest in peace, KMG. Next question, my friend. Having toured the country several times, playing for audiences of all sorts, in your honest opinion, how do the Juggalos fare? And you've had some experience so far, so be real now.
Yeah, I mean, I played the Gathering, and that was like an out-of-body experience. But I did the whole American Psycho tour and had a blast. One thing I do know on a whole level, on a grand scale, for Juggalos and Juggalettes, on some real shit, they really know their shit, as far as hip-hop is concerned, you know what I'm saying? And I never changed my set. Like, I remember when the first night I played American Psycho tour, and I asked Violent J, I was like, man, what it do? What's the atmosphere? It's like, just do what you do. He said he ain't gonna like you, and ain't gonna like you. So I go out there, and, I do my set, and it's a gangster set, and they went nuts. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stay like I am. I'm going to stay in this lane. It's great. So I noticed that they have a big appreciation for just being real, and that's dope. You know what I mean? That shows me that they're on point with like music, because I haven't felt, honestly, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. My energy that I got off American Psycho tour, I haven't seen that in hip hop. And I tell my people this, I haven't seen it in hip hop since the 90s. I haven't. And I've done a lot of shows, but I haven't seen that type of energy for hip hop since then. So
that's amazing. Yeah, I like to say we, because we're all a family, and they can really sense who is family and who isn't. So for them to show you love and respect, that's all you need. Yeah, hell yeah. All right, what was it like recording The Only Solution for a month straight? All right, locked in the Cabin in the Woods studio with Violent J and Kuma. What was that like?
Craziness. Nah, I mean, actually, it's funny. Like, we didn't think that we thought the only solution would take longer, but I think me and Violent J had thought about it so long. We thought about it from the American Psycho to all the way up to when we started recording. So we kind of had a lock on it. We just kind of didn't know how it was going to come together, you know. But the funny thing about, like, it's a storyteller's album, you know. It's one story broke down into 10 different songs, you know, which completes one picture. The funny thing about it is that we kind of went into making The Only Solution just like not knowing what's going on. The first day I got there, me and Joe kind of, Joe already had scripted the idea. Violent J had already scripted, you know, the whole story. So every day he would say, okay, we're going to, and we did it chronological too. If people, when people get the album, they'll know what I'm saying. Like the beginning of the assassin's life to present. That's how we done it, you know. So each song was actually done kind of like shooting a movie. So every day, me, Violent J, and Kuma would come in and we'd be like, okay, the first scene of the movie is going to be this. So we would script out the first scene. I would write out whatever the synopsis was, and the synopsis is the grand story of the whole script. I'd take the synopsis and I'd write it all out. You know, some of the characters we would have, some we wouldn't. I would just make up as I go along, you know what I mean? But the idea was the same. The brilliant thing about The Only Solution is that it's one idea, but it's broke down in so many different dimensions. And in now modern days, we want to do it. So it was risky, but I think what we end up doing is, after our first 2 days of recording The Only Solution, and Kuma can attest, is that he'll tell you that we didn't stop rolling until we finished mixing the last record. It was like we didn't know what we was on. After the third day, it was like we didn't even remember what day it was when we finished. We was like, we finished it that fast? You know, so it was incredible. I mean, and we came together as a team, as a family, like we do, and made the hottest shit. I've recorded since I've been making records with Above the Law, and that's a lot to say. So it was incredible. That was snowing. You know, I'm a Cali boy, so I used to
I know it was cold as hell for you. And you had to go out and buy a winter coat.
Kuma was flipping off. He was flipping off trampolines and showing us wrestling moves.
No, it sounds like it was a lot of fun. Now I have to say, I've been here all day. I know you've had a real busy week here at Psychopathic, and I've seen some video work going on. Can you just give us some exclusive details on the single of the song you're going to put out, and maybe some video exclusiveness shit to go off of?
Just see the video.
Just a little something?
Just see the video. Nah, the video is definitely off the hook. You're going to get an outer body experience when it comes to the Code 187 shit. You know, that's all I can say. The way it's written, the way it's directed, the way it's shot, you're really going to get your fucking mind blown.
Hell yeah, that's what we like to hear around here. All right, Lows and Let's, thank you so much, Cold 187. Big whoop whoop to you for giving me your time. And I know everybody cannot wait for The Only Solution. That drops on
October 22nd.
October 22nd, motherfuckers. I'll see you next time. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.